Yeah, because we was wild.
Right.
We was wild. And like I said, we had a culture.
Right.
And the culture looks exactly like what y'all call it hip-hop.
All right. We get ready to play the Spade anthem. So I want y'all to play and sing the Spade anthem. Here we go. No, we need it so hard. Got to have it so hard. No, we want it so hard. Have it so hard. Give it to me. Spade house. Need it. Spade house. Want it. Spade house. Spade house. Wanna get you.
It went left for real. After the Spades, listen. Hip hop come from an attitude. It never changed. It goes from an attitude. Hip hop was a negative attitude from the streets.
Hip hop is the behavior, the attitude, the character that creates rap, creates DJing, creates graffiti writing. This is what hip hop is. It is not graffiti writing. It is not rap. It is not DJing. It is not beatboxing. It is the attitude that produces these things.
And I keep trying to tell you that.
Negative
That's
attitude.
why it went into drills. Why you think it happened with Tupac? Why it's like a revolving door. If anything come from a root of negativity, it's gonna go back to its source.
Always remember that real B-boys that originally did the B-boy, that's gang culture. It's not all gang culture, but that's a large part of it. These dudes were ready to scrap for theirs.
And I'm not trying to glorify it. I'm telling you the attitude. It was gangsterism attitude. It was street attitude. That's why it's street to today. That's why you get drills. You get Tupac. You get Biggie. You get Big L. You get all of these dudes going through that. Know why? Because it ain't going to never change. Hip-hop won't change. It can't change. If it changed, that's like you telling me to change the sun. And that's not going to happen because you got to have light and you got to have day. And hip-hop is the night. That's the dark side. Believe me, that's the dark side. And you need to know that. That's why y'all going through all this. You're going through shit. Why? Because it's hip-hop. It's the streets.
It was a full moon in the middle of June, in the summer of '59. I was young and cool and shot a bad game of pool and hustled all the chumps I could find. Well, now they call me sport, cause I pushed the bar short and loved all the women to death. I partied hard, back the mean rod, and knock you out to the right or left. I learned to shoot pool, playing hooky from school. And my ace boom poom was a young boy named Spoon. My crime partner from the block, he had served a bullet and do.
All right, that's just the part that I was explaining to y'all. Hip hop was a negative attitude from the streets when we first came up. Now, this was in 1959 he made it. This is, well, I don't know if it was 1959.
But he was talking about 1959.
He was talking about 1959.
Okay.
And he was saying the same thing that I told you and culturized hip-hop.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He talking about guns. That's the attitude. He talking about the streets.
Right.
That's what I was trying to tell you. Hip-hop was a negative attitude from the streets. This was going on before we even got there.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? We came up after this.
Right.
And they was talking the attitude of what? Hip-hop, the streets. That's rapping.
Right.
Before we even started rapping.
Okay.
Think about it.
Right.
And that's the same culture that we combine from the streets
Right.
that brought the attitude to hip-hop. Now, the culture of hip-hop, right?
Right.
The culture is hip-hop. Do y'all really know what the culture of hip-hop is? From the attitude? Know what it is? You see this hat? Eyes tucked to the side? Yeah.
Right.
You see, I'm telling you, only real people that really know hip-hop know the signs.
Right.
You see this belt to the side? See how the belt to the side?
Right.
Ask anybody that really know hip-hop. They'll tell you, we used to carry the belt to the side. The strings to your sneakers, it stayed to the side. That was the character. See, I'm just showing you little parts of it. This was the character.
The fashion.
Plaids.
Fashion. Right.
Fashion.
Big.
Plaids.
Right.
We was wearing plaids with
okay.
69ers. Things like that. Suede Pro K. I could go there. This was the character from the attitude.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. Medallions.
One thing.
House medallions.
One thing I want to say, the difference though between the music you play and what you talking about is the age group.
Right.
He was a grown man.
He was mean.
Talking about carrying rods.
Right.
But y'all was the youth.
And we
that's
listening to
right,
this.
and that's what made hip hop.
Right.
Right.
And that's all I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not trying to say that's what it was gonna continue to be.
Okay.
But when you look at it, right?
Right.
Why did it continue after him? Because that's hip hop. It's the streets.
Right.
That's all I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
It'll never change if it stays hip hop. Hip hop won't change. It can't change. If it changed, that's like you telling me to change the sun. It'll never change if it stays hip hop.
Right.
Now, if you change it to another name,
right,
it may change.
Okay.
Because now you're dealing with something totally different. You're not dealing with the street.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The street politics.
Right.
The street, the inner street. You see what I'm saying? Now, this is how we was dressing. And we was kids.
Right.
Right? And we was listening to that. You see what I'm saying? Coming out of poverty, racism,
right,
all this. I was seeing our moms, our pop getting chased from other cultures.
You used to go out in the community, you used to always get beat up. Or running home because your life is in danger.
Right? You gonna tell me, watching all this, going through all this, sitting up there hearing your moms and your pops and your uncles telling you things about another race, you know, treating them bad and all that, because remember, they came from Black Panthers era.
Right.
So they was already on some revolutionized thing.
Panther 21.
Right, exactly. That's what Tupac was trying to tell you.
Right.
Tupac was trying to tell you that for the longest.
Right.
Tupac was trying to tell you that for the longest.
But when I turn to get ready to leave, Pac is still turning around looking at Disco King Mario, mesmerized, and I can pretty much imagine what's going on in his head.
Right.
He's looking at the Disco King Mario and he's listening to the music and he's soaking it all in.
Right.
And I'm pulling him like, come on, man, come on. And he's just, you know, he's not paying attention to what I'm trying to do.
Right.
He's trying to stay and get this and soak this all in.
Right.
And I like to think that was his first introduction to hearing our music.
Right.
And seeing our culture.
Right.
Because remember, it's visual. It's B-Boys out there. They got the sweatshirts on.
Right.
And at the time, the sweatshirts had Bronx River, Bronxdale, they named, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Girls out there with the big earrings and they doing you know, it's a whole culture with this.
It's a culture with it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a vibe, right? It's an energy.
Yes.
That's what Tupac was trying to tell y'all. Tupac was trying to tell you that for the longest.
Right.
But y'all didn't get what Tupac was saying. Because you're thinking Pt.2, he wasn't there. But remember, his mother was there.
Right.
His mother was a revolution. She was installing all this in Tupac's mind.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's why he had the knowledge he had so early in the game. Just like we had the knowledge so early in the game. That's why I said we was young, but we had the knowledge. We was ahead of our time.
We shot craps first, since there was no limit on the purse, and we could bet as much as we please. I bet 5 yards, and Spoon took on all odds, making his first 7 with ease.
It went left, for real. After the Spades, listen.
I had 20,000. 20,000, yeah. And for gobs of women. They used to call me Money Mike.
You used to get Money Mike?
I used to make, back in the 70s, I used to make a G a day.
A G a day?
A day. That was money then. That was money back then. We used to go out, go to clubs that most of y'all couldn't even get into. Pimping, Leviticus.
Pimping was the name of a club?
Yeah, we were all crazy them into it. You know how far that is. They sort of called me Money Mike. Kept the women. Yeah, I was a gambler. How would you call it? Shot caller.
When he started learning how to jostle and all that, what you think? Why would you think it's Green Eye Stanley was jostling? It came from an attitude.
Hip-hop is the behavior, the attitude, the character that creates rap.
That's what I keep telling you. Why was he doing crimes? Because it came from an attitude.
Attitude.
You had, look, the Spade.
Right.
What you think? Look at Blackie. From the Black Spade.
Okay.
That was my claiming.
Right.
Down the line. He was older than me.
Okay.
But down the line, Blackie became my claiming. How that work? You know why? Crime. It went left, for real.
Yeah.
After the Spades, listen, Blackie became my claiming. How that work? You know why? Crime.
So let me ask you, right? As far as crime, some of the pioneers may have did a little dip, a little dabble with, drug selling.
And I introduced them to the street. I introduced them to the hustlers. I introduced them to the guys that's those guys.
So let me ask you, right? As far as crime, some of the pioneers may have did a little dip, a little dabble with, drug selling. But is selling weed, would you consider that negative?
At that time, I was coming up in the neighborhood. I thought I was a marijuana seller, nickel bags, So I figured that go good with the party, So I used to come to the party early, and I have like maybe 20 nickel bags, So that was my little hustle thing, I thought.
Hip-hop was a negative attitude from the streets.
But is selling weed, would you consider that negative? How you said negative?
Listen. It was all just a survival of the fittest, man.
Selling weed, though.
Selling weed, it was part of the game.
Part of the game.
It wasn't like, listen.
So you would include that as negative, too? Part of negative?
Anything outside of the law is negative. Anything outside of the law,
and back then, we was outside of the law back then.
We was outside. Right. Y'all call it outside. Right. No, we was outside. We was outside.
So that's what you meant by negative, like...
Hip-hop was a negative attitude from the streets. Listen, when I say negative, I'm telling you about things outside the law that can send you to jail, that can send you to group homes. Like Slug Bus Starsky, he got sent to a group home. Why? Because he did a crime. Or his mother sent him there. It was some attitude that he brought to the table that nobody was trying to hear. And they sent him off to some other people to take care of him. Right? Just like when they send you off to jail. They send you off to jail because they want you to be rehabilitated because you're not acting accordingly to society.
Right.
And that's what hip-hop was. It was acting unaccordingly to society.
Right. It was against the law.
It was against the law. Everything we was doing, look. Even
graffiti was against the law. Graffiti was against the law.
There's a wet war going on here in New York. The weapons, acid spray and spray paint. The acid solution is sprayed on subway cars in this exotic urban car wash, 55 gallons per train in the costly battle against graffiti. Removing graffiti from the interiors and exteriors of New York's 6,000 subway cars costs the city more than $1 million a year. And razor-top barricades of steel have been erected around the train yards to keep out the enemy's spray cans. New York's mayor, Ed Koch, says the total cost of the war is $10 million a year.
I hate graffiti.
I knew a lot of cats who were graffiti artists.
white guys who were graffiti artists who wouldn't have anything to do with us as black people, let alone hip-hop.
Was acting unaccordingly to society.
Right. It was against the law.
It was against the law. Everything we was doing, look, even
graffiti was against the law.
Listen, our elders, right? Our elders, man, flipped the script.
Okay.
They got jobs in Patmore.
We went to Patmore, and Patmore gave us all jobs. The city tried to shut us down.
Then a lot of us got jobs. A lot of us got into construction.
Right.
A lot of us got into driving, chauffeuring. A lot of us became teachers.
Right.
Music and all that.
A lot of cats text stupid him. They got jobs in Patmore.
Right.
I think he's a director now.
Yeah, he retired, but I mean, I was telling you, he was a district regional director.
A lot of us just grew up.
And what they did was to shut us down. They started giving all the Spades good jobs. Snoopy got a security job. I got a job. All of us got jobs. So we all started getting jobs.
Now, but remember this. Before they got them jobs, we were stealing out of Patmore. Survival of the fittest.
Right.
When they got the job and we used to come up there, we the youngest. We kids. We look, what the hell doing up there? What the hell is Slater and them doing up there? What the hell is Cuddy and Guru and all them doing up in there? And all, what is they doing up in there? We trying to figure, when we come up there, you know what they used to do to us?
What?
Stop us at the door and say, don't come up in here with that shit. We say, really? This is how y'all feel? Like this is what made us another time rebel. See,
like they betrayed y'all, maybe?
Like we was betrayed. These are our big brothers.
And they kind of betrayed
and to us, we was betrayed. They knew we didn't have jobs. We was packing bags, but that wasn't enough after a minute.
Yeah.
We started off packing bags, pitching pennies.
I'll pitch pennies and down bennies.
Pitching quarters and all of that.
All of us.
This is what I wanted to listen. Now, let me.
Which pitching quarters? Explain that.
Here we go. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna explain to you. We used to pitch corners on this wall right here, right? And the Spades used to come over here. They used to be pitching quarters and all of that too. And over there. Now this is what pitching quarters was. You got a quarter on you? So this is what pitching quarters means.
Yeah,
whoever get it closest to this wall,
that wall,
and you throw your quarter, if it doesn't pass mine, I take your quarter and it's mine.
And now it's mine.
So we do that. Everybody's battling to see who can get it close to the wall.
We like this.
And I go right there. And if you throw your quarter and you don't remember chuckle up, you throw it in the thing and you try to get the numbers. If you put the money on the number and it's not there, you lose it. That was almost emulating that. You gotta get it closer to the wall. If you don't, I'll beat you out of all your money.
Now, if you say if you on this wall like this, right? Say if you got the top notch, and I come right, and I got my quarter or my penny,
I gotta hit that.
And I knock you out the pot.
Knock you out the pot.
That's mine.
You remember that?
Even though you know I can't go no further than you.
Right.
Now we gotta hit you.
Hit you.
If I hit
exactly
you,
that.
then it's mine.
It's
but
mine.
If I don't hit you,
exactly
it's yours.
that.
And that's what I said. We was trendset. We was doing shit like that.
Nobody don't even know about that. Nobody never said that. I never heard nobody say that in my life until right now.
I'll pitch pennies and down bennies and play the horses at the track. I wanted cards against tremendous odds, and my favorite game was blackjack.
Like they betrayed y'all, maybe?
Like we was betrayed. These are our big brothers.
And they kind of betrayed
to us, we was betrayed. They knew we didn't have jobs. We was packing bags, but that wasn't enough after a minute.
Yeah.
We started off packing bags, pitching pennies,
yeah,
and all that, trying to, keep a lid on the shit.
Right.
But then, when you start, look, you come from an era where it was a full moon in the middle of June in the summer of '59.
Yeah.
I was young and cool and played the bad game of pool and hustled all the chubs I could find.
Yeah.
Now they call me sport because you can push a bad short and love all the women to death. I party hard, pack the mean rod that can knock you out with right or left. Come on, man, we listening to that. And we seeing this.
Word, right here at Finest, Western Beef over here.
Okay.
That used to be Finest. They used to have the Six Corners barbershop and they used to have a bar there too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that was like the headquarters for cats to get together. There, the bar here, Cozy Corner Bar was the celebrity joint, and Arthur's Round Table, Bronx River. And that's where all like the murders and all that stuff used to pop off. Because that's how they catch you when you hanging out, you know what I'm saying?
Cozy Corner was number one, though.
It was what?
Number one.
Number one.
Right. They had like pimps and shit. Yeah.
Pimps? Yeah.
I mean, that shit goes back to like, you know, like my father and them, they might have hung out over there. That was like the hippest spot.
Hippest spot?
Black people.
Yeah?
Yeah. You know, Cozy Corner was the hippest. I mean, you couldn't really go in there. You had to be like, you had to be pimping this shit to go in. For real. You had to, believe it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was a lot of money going through that shit.
I party hard, packed the mean raw that could knock you out with a right or left. Come on, man, we listening to that. And we seeing this. Idols and all that. See what I'm saying? Remember, the era of just wearing jackets and all that and boots is gone. We didn't care about that. But when we start seeing that we can, you know, look good and all that, and remember, it was a lot of girls at this time. It was a lot of girls.
The people got to remember that's the era of the blaxploitation movies. Superfly, the Map.
Right. Remember I told you now, we got our joints from Superfly, 3 the Hard Way, Fred Williamson, Jim Brown. You know, these was our idols, man.
Right.
We going up in the War Theater. It cost us $1 to get in.
We used to be in the War Theater. Everybody used to go to the movie, watch Bruce Lee. 5 Fingers of Death, the driving movie and all that stuff.
We up in there, the whole damn near Bronx up in there. Between that and the joint that used to be on Hunts Point, I forget the name of it, but it was a movie. We used to go there too, right? But I'm just saying. So we see our brothers, we like, yo, y'all not gonna let us rock? We're supposed to be baby Spades. We can't rock. So where that go? That's what I told you, after Spades, it went left. It went left, for real. After the Spades, listen, I keep telling y'all that.
After the Spades, it went left.
I told y'all that.
Right.
After the Spades, it went left. It was like man for self.
Every man for themselves, right.
And they shouldn't have never told us, because we had a team that was out of this world. I told you, they called us the original Little Rascals. We had one that could think. We had one that could fight. We had one that was militant. We had one that was smooth. And then you had the wild card, Blackjack, me. Yeah, it was crazy. And anybody at that time will tell you, from this project or from the Bronx, they'll tell you how that shit went down. See, I don't like to glorify the streets, because I'm not in the streets. Don't listen, kids. Don't do that.
Right.
Please don't do that.
Right.
Because I ended up all my life in jail.
Right.
I even missed the part with my brother when he got killed. Because I was in jail. I was in work release when my brother got killed. You know what I mean? I had time to think about that shit. And when I found out the answer, it was crazy. And I ain't going, we ain't doing all that.
Right.
But I'm just showing you something.
Right.
And when you go that way, that's why you get drills and all that. Because it's not going to work. It's not, kids.
So I want to add on. So as far as like what you said about negative, you also said dark side though.
And hip hop is the night. That's the dark side. Believe me, that's the dark side.
You also said dark side though. Hip hop is the dark side, but another way to say it would be like, because me personally, like I had the privilege of raising children. I don't like to call them negative or. The worst thing we could do is parents say, "You're being bad." Tell the children they being bad. It's not that they being bad or negative. They just being children.
Show you what I mean by it.
They just being children. See, little children jump on stuff, climb on stuff.
I showed you the attitude.
Right.
See the energy.
Right.
That's hip hop. The energy.
Right.
The bad attitude energy.
Right.
Not saying you gonna kill, but if you try to come in hip hop just like to the beat, to the rock.
Right.
Nobody want to hear that.
Right.
But if you come in there.
1, 2, 1, 2, come through, run through, gun who? Oh, you don't know what the gun do?
I know what I'm gonna do, and I know what I'm gonna give to the crowd. I'm not concerned with what anybody else is gonna do or what. What's that? Energy. I'm gonna tear it down. It doesn't matter whether I'm first, second, third, or fourth. When I leave the fucking stage, the show is over. Nigga.
You try to come in hip hop just like to the beat, to the rock.
Right.
Nobody want to hear that.
Right.
But if you come in there, hip hop, and you don't stop, but rockin' to the bang bang, but you get the attitude.
I remember way back when we was broke. We was crying, mama high as hell. To her she was a loving mother, but to other motherfuckers she was clientele. And I remember begging her to stop, and every single night when I told her that I'ma get big and buy a bunch of guns and kill every nigga that done sold a crack. It's almost 20 years later, now she finally sober, but that was the shit that I prayed about. I thank God I made it out, damn it feels good to go pick up my mama and take her out. The Tony got paper now all in my bank account, and it ain't shit to debate about. If you cross me like Jesus, I'll come back with heaters, be outside your crib like we staking out. It's really fucked up in my city, I'm sorry, but I'm about to add to the body count.
See, that's the attitude.
Yeah.
The attitude is what attracts you.
Right.
Right? When I'm talking about the dark side, and I told you the light and the dark side, that means I'm talking about two angels. You got one on this side and one on that side.
When I was a little boy and was being brought up a Roman Catholic, I was told I had a guardian angel on my right side and a tempting devil on my left. When it came to making a decision of what I would do, the decision would depend on which one had most influence on me. They actually concretized those thoughts.
They did what?
It was an angel. That angel is a fact, and the devil is a fact. Do you see? Otherwise, one thinks of them as metaphors for the energies that are afflicting and guiding you.
And those energies come from?
From your own life. The energy of your own body. Your different organs in your body, including your head, are the conflict systems. Your different organs in your body, including your head, are the conflict systems.
You got two entities within yourself that's going to tell you go right or it's going to go left, and it's up to you to make that choice.
Right.
See, you got two entities, and really, to tell you the truth, if they really diagnose this shit for real, we all bipolar. We all fucking bipolar. And what I mean by that is because at any given time, you could switch. How does that? At any given, listen, without thinking about it.
Dual nature.
There you go. At any given time, like you could be doing something real positive, right?
Right.
Somebody come and bump you. Next thing you know, you on some other shit. That's bipolar.
Right.
That's bipolar.
And that's what I wanted to get into, yo. It's funny and I'm saying as far as Cholly Rock and Phase. Now, see, what you just said is deep, right? But we as men, we have to learn how to control our emotions. We have to be able to discuss our differences in peace and maintain the peace.
In peace.
If we can't, then we shouldn't even complain about Caucasians, the government, and all that stuff controlling us. If we can't control ourselves.
How you gonna fix something you can't fix? It starts with you.
If we as brown-skinned men can't come together, even with Latinos,
with
if we can't discuss our nationality differences
and
in
knowing
peace,
it's the truth.
You know, we can't shy away from debates or discussions or whatever.
If you do that, you don't get knowledge to get wisdom.
Okay.
Because now it's hush hush. And then what you do, you packing it.
Right.
You packing it.
Right, and it's gonna
then
explode.
When it comes, it's crazy, man.
Right.
Now it's because you packing it because you're not saying nothing.
Right.
You know it's
Keeping
right,
it in,
but
right.
you ain't saying it.
Yo.
That's just like if you in your house and you seeing your kid getting smacked up and you don't say nothing. And years go by.
Build
and
up.
then one day you just jump up.
Right.
Come on.
That's why you wanting to do that. Remember the first part, the first video?
Yes.
One of my favorite videos. Because you opened up or you said some certain things.
Hey, listen, I don't want to say nothing about you. Charlie, you my brother.
Right.
But I'm going to jack Mario.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Now you can jack HERC.
Right.
Jack him.
Just that simple. And that first video, you said one of my favorite videos because you said certain things that meant a lot to me, like things that I wanted to say, like that whole Cholly Rock thing.
Right.
I've been going through that with Cholly Rock for a while, behind the scenes.
See what I'm saying?
Cholly Rock would say some things that then when you respond and you want to respond and get into it, he'll just say, and it's like when he did that to Phase, I understood how Phase.
And then he goes, I told you in a nice way that to drop it. Sound like Scooby-Doo, like what? You told me in a nice way? What you? And then I said
understood how Phase felt, and that's why Phase got on.
What?
Charlie, and this is real. One time you was being interviewed with Black Mike.
It was us.
You know what the funny, like the third section was sort of like the quiet section. Because it's the furthest away from the first. So, you know, the third section is all the way in the back. And the third section would get shine like when Mario would play like in Pathmark.
But the third section has some gangsters though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They had some real motherfuckers. Black Willie and what's
No, Willie for the second.
Willie for the second, okay.
Okay. I was gone. I was away.
Okay.
I've seen the interview.
Okay.
And you said, third section was the quiet section.
Like the third section was sort of like the quiet section.
I told Mike I was gonna explode on you. You know why, Charlie? You don't know the third section. So we used to call that the third world.
Yeah.
You don't even know.
There's the word.
My building
There's
was
the
named.
word.
Listen, my building was named the 4th building. Dutch's building was named the 6th building. You think we gonna name buildings after Rikers Island unless niggas is getting it in, son? You don't even know what was going on in the third section. That's why I told you.
Maybe when he came,
it wasn't because we was gone.
Y'all was gone.
See, by that
when he
time,
came, y'all was
Charlie,
wow.
when you came, we was going back and forth to Spartan and all that.
Wow.
You know what I mean? When I got my first real long beard, I was 13. But before that, I was going to Spartan, bro. Group homes and all that. See, you ain't got the education of what was going on. But a lot of people in Bronx, they'll know that.
Yeah.
They'll tell you, it's black in them? Oh, nah, man. Them dudes been going to jail since they've been fucking 2 years old. They'll tell you. Some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm exaggerating.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? That's why I said, when you said quiet, Charlie, let me tell you something. This is real talk. A lot of dudes didn't even want to come to the third section. They knew the third world was the third world, son. I told you my brother sparked off a motherfucking cannon that nobody ever seen in that project. And anybody will tell you that. Unless they hate you. Because you got your haters. You're gonna have your haters, right? But that's here nor there. But I'm just telling you something. See, and when you say things like that and you wasn't there, this is what make us come out.
You were not there. You're a visitor.
We know Charlie Rock too. He was down. He was a double agent. He was a double agent.
And when you say things like that and you wasn't there, this is what make us come out.
Right.
And say, and Charlie, you know I ain't biting my tongue for nobody. I'm gonna tell you, man. You ain't gonna come up in my spot and talk about and the shit that we created in there and tell me, knowing I put the hard work in, I put the blood and sweat, I got shot, and all that. And you ain't gonna tell me what my part, the third section? Third section, the third world, son. They called it the third world. You serious? That was nothing but gangsters coming out of the third section, man. Come on, son. Anybody that's not hating, I'll tell you that.
Third section has some gangsters though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They had some real motherfuckers.
Anybody that's not hating, I'll tell you that. That's what I told you. After the Spades, it went left.
It went left, okay.
It went left, man. You see what I'm saying? Listen, you created monsters, and then you didn't want to deal with them. We became monsters, man. Little gremlins, like I told you. We'll run anything out of there at that time. Anything. You couldn't even come in there. And this was after the Spades. This is after the Spades.
Right.
You come up in my section, not mine. A hole, I always try to make it a whole, I don't create by myself.
Right.
Son, believe me. And a lot of dudes couldn't even come in that section. You got dudes to tell you, every time they came in there, they had to fight us. Every time they walked in that section, and we seen them, oh man, let me put my book bag down, man, come on. That's how it was, man. And that's how it was. We made dudes, a lot of these dudes that's in this area, we born them. We made them who they are. We made them hard. We made them know how to stand on 10 toes. Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm not glorifying it. I'm telling you, now, after that, right, Charlie comes. He comes in 70, what, 4, 5?
Nah, he came in like 76. 7.
Charlie, you're late, man. It was late, Charlie.
Yeah.
You know, talk from 76 on up, man.
Right.
What you heard is not what you got. Because see, anybody, you know who could have been telling you that? A clown. You don't even know it. You should have got your education from my sister. My sister would have told you really what was going on. My sister was in the trenches with us. Come on, stop playing. My sister, she was nothing to fuck with, son. And everybody knows that. My sister was a fighting little what? Anyway, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah,
Ask me that about what you was going to say.
Hold on, yeah. I wanted to get finished this thought because I'm already in it now. I want to. Hopefully, I could bring a solution. Like I say, us as men, we got to be able to discuss our differences and come up with solutions. That's what separates men from boys. Boys get emotional and lose themselves over emotion. Men, we could turn our emotion into focus, like a laser beam, focus our energy, our emotion. So I just want to bring a possible solution to FaZe and CHOLLY. Now, they may choose to just separate and never talk to each other again. That's their choice, and that's cool. Sometimes that might be an option too. Just stay away from each other.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Just stay away.
That's respect too.
Yeah.
You don't say nothing to your opponent.
Right.
Y'all don't know. That's respect.
Right.
But you ain't beefing and he ain't beefing. You don't want to say nothing, he don't want to say nothing.
Right.
So maybe it's best.
Right.
But see, CHOLLY, a lot of y'all trick. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, and this is real. You my brother, and I'm dropping jewels on you. I'm not coming at you. I'm gonna drop a jewel on you. A lot of y'all been misinformed. The ones that came late, y'all been misinformed. Now, don't get me wrong. This was something big we was doing. That's why I started branching out everywhere.
Right.
Even though we was in the project, people was hearing about it. They just got exposed to it when we went to 123. But they was hearing about it. They just ain't gonna mention it, just like they didn't want to mention Mario. Remember in the beginning? Nobody, why? Y'all all knew what's going on. That's what I said. A lot of people knew. But being that they wasn't part of that, excuse me, I don't know what made them, and then you know money do some funny things to you. You know when somebody start like a Sylvia come and she pull up and tell you, listen, we're gonna pay you $100,000 million to rap. You know, you may forget about everybody behind you. It just goes that way. You know, but like you said, I want to get back on what you said. Yo, we are men. Right? If you can't say what's on your mind without me understanding that that's your opinion, you don't have to validate it to me. Validate it to you. See, you the one that needs to be validated, not me. I don't need nobody to validate what I'm saying. I don't need somebody to say, oh, yeah, he's right. No, because I know I'm right. Ain't no he right. You ain't gotta tell me I'm right. That's like when you do a good job, you like somebody gotta tell you, no, pat yourself on the back. You did a good job. That don't mean you earned that. You earned that from you. You know what I mean? Because wherever you go, there you go.
Right. So now, but look, see your situation, like your situation with CHOLLY is different from mine because y'all more closer in age. Y'all might be 2 years apart or 3 years apart. 2 years, I think. But CHOLLY is more than 10 years older than me. So he's like my big brother, and it's more like also a student teacher. I learn a lot from CHOLLY. We text back and forth, and I learn a lot. So I'm like a student on certain things.
That's deep.
On certain things. So there's a certain amount of respect I have for him. So our situation might be different. So that's why I say it felt good when I saw FaZe lose it.
Sound like Scooby-Doo, like what? You told me in a nice way. You the one that started the conversation, and you think I'm going to sit back and say, oh, because you said stop, that I'm going to stop. We still be going on to the right now. If he hadn't blocked me.
Because I can relate. I know how he felt.
Just like if they got to come at me, CHOLLY, I'm going to take that. I'm going to eat that.
Right.
Come at me. Come at me any way you want. Listen, man. I invite the smoke. And I don't mean it on a physical.
This is all verbal, intellectual.
This is just knowledge being born.
Knowledge, right.
That's all it is. And a lot of people don't want knowledge. So they don't want to born it to become wisdom. This is just knowledge being born. This is other people's error, other people's statements, other people vouch to them that it's valid. I get it. Now look, CHOLLY, why I'm on you like that, because you've been on this channel for a long time. I was up north and seen you on this channel. Yo, I don't want to tell you how we did that, but I was up north and seen you. And I used to just look at you. And I used to say, wow, CHOLLY really going there like that? He ain't really, I said, because he already know, right? CHOLLY, This man here put his time and effort into getting your knowledge for what was going on in life with hip-hop. To keep hip-hop, the origins alive.
Right.
That's all he's doing, keeping the origin alive. And you want to spectate yourself. That's why I'm spectating myself with Mario. But all y'all want to spectate yourself with Flash and HERC and all.
Right.
Well, now, yeah, I'm Mario.
Right.
I'm going, listen, listen, come at me any way you want, bro. I'm going to build with you all day. I'll build with you all day. That's what I grew up building with the guards. All up north. I've been building with the guards forever. I know how to build. You can shoot your shot. If it means something to me, you'll hear from me. If it don't, I throw it away like trash and put it, because that's your opinion, not mine. And I gotta respect that. I respect your opinion. But I'm gonna say what I got to say, and you can bring it any way you want. And not the street level, though, because I'm not in the street.
We talking verbal.
We talking verbally. Right.
History lessons.
History.
Right.
I'm not talking about putting hands and feet on you and all that. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
I'm not with that.
Right.
I'm not with that. I'm about building.
Right.
And I'm building from where I came from.
Right.
I'm building with y'all.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Charlie, what makes me feel so, because this man took out his time.
Yeah.
To you know what I mean?
Yeah. But nah, it's like my two brothers, because I learned from FaZe also.
Right.
I learned a lot from FaZe. I learned a lot from Cholly. I just want to hopefully bring some kind of closure or resolution or understanding, especially with the general public. The general public may not fully understand. From my point of view, Cholly and FaZe is basically from two different aspects of hip hop. Like Cholly, like the first time, you know what I'm saying, me and him, our first video, I knew it might be some differences. So I asked him at the beginning, I said, what's your understanding of hip hop? So I had to start that. I said, how do you define hip hop? What's your understanding?
Exactly.
And he explained, he said, for me, hip hop is about the dance, the music, and later on the rapping.
Okay, first, let's define what hip hop culture is. How would you define it? What's your definition of hip hop culture?
What it is now, right? And it has a real commercial kind of a definition now.
Right.
And you know, you have people who created like the 5 elements and all these different kinds of things, and that's what it's become.
Right.
What it was for me always was the music and the dances.
Right.
What it was for me always was the music and the dances. And eventually later on the rapping. And that's what it always has been for me, and that's what I still continue to define it as.
So when Cholly was speaking, right, he said it's for him, it's the music, the dancing, and later on the rapping. But for millions and millions of others of us, hip hop is much more than just. It's a whole culture with it.
Culture.
And like you said, it's an attitude.
Hip hop was a negative attitude from the streets.
Hip hop is the behavior, the attitude, the character that creates rap.
And like you said, it's an attitude.
That's what I mean.
There's a lot more with it. So Cholly may not understand when FaZe
he wasn't there.
Right. And you know, you have people who created like the 5 elements and all these different kinds of things, and that's what it's become.
Right.
What it was for me always was the music and the dances. And eventually later on the rapping. And that's what it always has been for me, and that's what I still continue to define it as. And I understand that others have added the graffiti artist and all that kind of thing. That's great if you want to add that. But for me, the graffiti artists were in existence even before hip-hop culture. I knew a lot of cats who were graffiti artists, white guys who were graffiti artists, who wouldn't have anything to do with us as black people, let alone hip-hop. So, you know, I appreciate that it was incorporated in, that's wonderful. But I've always defined hip-hop, or what has come to be known as hip-hop, as the music, the style of dance, and the style of emceeing or rapping. That's what it's always been.
He said, for me, hip hop is about the dance, the music, and later on the rapping.
Okay.
Now, if you compare that with DJ FaZe, there's a big difference.
Yeah, see?
We was 8, 9, and 10 years old. We was rocking champagne cologne.
Right.
We had British Walkers, Playboys, Rips. We had marshmallows. We had the espadrilles. We had the AJs. We had overlaps. We had mock necks, and all our shit was from AJ Lester.
Okay.
Not Jew-Man.
I remember the whole crew of us. We went to Jew-Man.
Jew-Man.
Simpson Street.
Right.
We all had our matching ski suits.
Okay.
Ski jackets.
Okay.
Shit like that. That was the style.
So Jew-Man was out in the 70s?
Jew-Man's been out forever.
Forever.
Yeah. That's where we got sneakers from. Jew-Man.
Like I said, we was going to Jerry's Den, getting cuts and all of that stuff. Going to AJ Lester, getting rocking. Then, later on in the years, they came up with Jew-Man.
I remember the whole crew of us. We went to Jew-Man.
So Jew-Man was like how I would say it was like going to basically going to Alexander's or something, or Corvettes to get your gear.
Okay.
You feel me? Because they didn't have the real shit.
I remember the whole crew of us. We went to Jew-Man.
Jew-Man.
Simpson Street.
Right.
We all had our matching ski suits.
If you had a mock neck, we caught you with a mock neck, and we looked inside, and it didn't have the AJ Lester in them like that.
Then Jew-Man got bigger.
Yeah.
But we saying at the beginning.
You know why Jew-Man got bigger?
Why?
Because we started going to AJ Lester. So he had to compete with that. Because remember, he had a crowd coming through.
Who, Jew-Man?
Yeah. On Hunts Point. He had a crowd.
You saying he was competing with AJ Lester?
When we first started with Jew-Man, he was just doing urban.
Okay.
He started seeing when we came in Jew-Man.
Okay.
We have on butter leathers, leather hats. Well, he's like, where y'all get these shit from? He asks us, yo, where you get them pants? Oh, yo, we got this down from Layton's, or we got this such and such. He said, yo, those is fly. They said, you know, Jew-Man got it. Might be his portion like that, but Dad might make it his portion. So he had to compete because he knew if he don't compete, he gonna lose out.
Right.
You talking about, we was his money. See what I'm saying? We was the Jew-Man's money.
Yeah.
He see us coming, boy, he knows getting ready to go down. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So if now we, at every level, we advance quick. I told you we was ahead of our time. Right. Every level, like we'll start packing bags. Next thing you know, that's gone. We pitch a penny. Next thing you know, we're still in the back mark. Next thing you know, it was
on to the
dancing.
next, right.
We look burning. We left that.
Right.
We was advancing.
Right.
We on to the next.
Right.
Until what? We got stopped when we went to jail.
Right.
That's how we got stopped.
Right.
We wouldn't have stopped, and we'll come right back home, start over where we left, and keep it going.
Right.
For years.
Right. But see, it's so deep. Everything you say is so deep. So the point is, as far as hopefully is a solution, brothers can respect each other's differences. As far as Phase, Charlie Rock, Phase represent more of the hip hop fashion. He's big on hip hop fashion, and I think hip hop fashion and slang is underrated as far as the elements, because when you look at it, Bambaataa made the elements, but he's not a hip hop fashion type of guy.
Right.
So how can Bambaataa tell us about hip hop fashion?
His fashion come from some goddamn hippie shit.
Yeah. So right. So it's up to us.
But listen, if you ever watch him, that shows his culture. So all that about Black American culture. Listen, I'm not just trying, but listen, we wasn't dressing like Bam.
Right, we wasn't. Right, so
he dressed like us.
So and not even because he was kind of.
He wasn't even really.
They probably would have called him a weirdo looking or whatever. But what I'm saying is, he should have got in a perfect world. Bambaataa would have had somebody smooth. I'm pretty sure it was some Bronx River smooth. The Bronx River. He could have got Dolan in him to consult him about.
Cat 2 was getting money with weird stuff like that. I remember a cat from Bronx River. He passed away. His name was Little D.
Okay.
He used to be in 123.
Okay.
With the green and white Pumas on. He had a bunch of brothers in them from Bronx River. Collecting money, just counting money on the side, fresh. You could smell the cologne. And that's what they was doing. That was his role. He wasn't on the mic rapping. They was
about the hip hop elements, right?
Little D and all.
Somebody that was into fashion.
Yeah, Cecil and Kato and all.
Yeah, some smooth Bronx River dudes.
They was
right.
The dudes with the fashion.
Right.
Yeah. Gary, a lot of them.
Hip hop fashion has been
B.O.
Yeah. B.O.
B.O. and all that.
Hip hop fashion. You knew B.O.?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Hip hop fashion.
B.O. was doing time together.
Yeah.
B.O. grew up together.
He's a little younger than you though, right?
Yeah, but B.O. is my little man.
Yeah.
B.O.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
All right.
Yo.
All right, look, I don't want to drift off, right? So, hip hop fashion has been underrated. So what I'm saying is, FaZe is big on hip hop fashion.
Right.
But when you compare that with like Charlie Rock, Charlie is big on the dancing and the music.
The fashion.
But the fashion might be even more important.
Hip-hop was the style and charisma and the glorifier of the luxury of the thousands of dollars that individuals were wearing diamonds coming to the parties. Had nothing to do with the DJ because he was bummy. He had no money. He had nothing.
Fashion is probably one of the most important parts.
And it's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning before you go out to B.Boy. You got to put on fashion. You got to put on your clothes.
Our style was made in New York. At one time, they had nothing but like uptown style. It was like the uptowners, AJ Lester, the sneakers. We rocked it. Everybody wanted to be like us. This is
you mean
this
like
is our
African
era.
American
Yeah,
style, African American culture,
African style,
right?
And then especially the Bronx and Harlem.
Right.
The Bronx and Harlem was the forefront of style.
I wore Pumas. I wore all flavor Pumas, just the same way, dressing, looking. I shopped at AJ Lester's. I wore G Money clothes. Let's go.
The importance of fashion in society. We frequently dismiss fashion as unimportant in our lives. However, it plays a crucial role in society. It influences how individuals act and shapes the culture of nations all over the world. Fashion is an excellent means of communication. It communicates who you are and what you stand for. Fashion has always been an integral part of human civilization because it reflects the culture of a certain period and constantly evolves in response to the latest developments in society.
We all know about how clothes affect us in ways we want. We have clothes that make us feel more powerful, a little sexy, whatever it may be. But what we wondered is, how do clothes affect you in ways you cannot see?
We went and we talked to these scientists who had looked in very, very careful ways at the things that clothes do to us, the way that they affect us, that we are not aware of.
This is our scientist man. His name is Adam Galinsky, and he is a professor at Columbia Business School. And he first got interested in all this.
Do clothes affect the way that people think and behave?
The dress code is what attracted the DJs to want to be like us.
Right.
To want to put their fitteds on backwards.
DJs wanted to be like
to
y'all.
To want to
right.
put on gazelles.
Right.
To want to run with plaids. Remember, the DJs wasn't us.
Had nothing to do with the DJ because he was bummy. He had no money. He had nothing.
DJs came later. Not saying that they didn't make hip-hop, but they came later.
Okay.
The DJs started. Why you think HERC was calling out the names in Claremont?
Coke the Rock was, but right.
Why you think?
As the party got bigger, my talk got bigger.
Why you think? Because of the fashions, because of who they were.
Right.
They was bringing hip-hop.
The names was important. The people was important.
Yo, where we was, they was calling us out and all that.
Another thing is, you know what? Early hip-hop, true or false, it wasn't focused on the DJ. It was focused on each other. People moving around the party, inside the jam or the party or wherever y'all putting it on at. True or false? I'm giving you my understanding. Okay. My understanding is that back then, the original hip-hop, it wasn't focused on you and HERC. It wasn't focused on Mario. It wasn't focused on the DJ or the MC. It was more focused, the people was focused on each other.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Is that true?
I agree to that.
Like the dancing, it was all about each other.
Yes, it was. I agree to that.
They wasn't looking at y'all like just standing there looking at y'all like that.
I mean, the only people who did that was guys that was up and coming.
Up and coming. Right.
Up and coming. Because just how you said that, we playing one night at the exec. I'm playing.
Party.
I didn't
people
know
moving around the party. The focus was on each other.
It was the people. How you think drugs got into hip hop?
Who?
Drugs.
Drugs.
Because of the people.
People, right.
The DJ didn't come and introduce us to drugs. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
DJ didn't speak on drugs from the mic. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
DJ didn't speak on fashion from the mic. The DJ didn't do none of that. Why? Because the people was there first.
Right.
The people start interacting with each other. Yo, give me a joint. Let me get.
Yeah.
See where it went?
On the dance floor.
Yeah, let me get some of that beer. See, because you had to have attitude to dance. See, you can't dance if you just chilling. You gotta build look, because you get made dance in front of a crowd. You gotta build the attitude. You got to, in order to dance.
Yeah.
You got to have what? Self-confidence. It's
Right.
an attitude. Yo, fuck that. I don't care if these people say anything. I'm gonna do it.
Right.
It's like, I'm gonna do it, and then you do it.
Right.
You gotta build up a character, attitude, character. Now, in this character and attitude, right? The character and the attitude comes the behavior. The behavior, where that come from?
Hip hop is first a shared idea, a behavior, a way to be. This is what hip hop is. This way to be is what inspired our outward self-expressions of breaking, MCing, graffiti writing, DJing, and beatboxing.
I don't know where the behavior come from. I would say because of survival of the fittest.
Just teenagers,
Everybody
youth,
just being
children.
youth, wild.
Yeah, children are wild.
Children of the dam and all
right.
that. I don't
Children
know.
are wild.
Call it whichever. Right. And
Children are naturally wild.
And they snap on each other. They get on each other. They
Right.
fight each other. That's the behavior
Right.
of a attitude.
And like you said, Mario was the first one to invite in the wild.
Mario did things that nobody in this industry ever did. I keep telling you, he's the key. You lock the door, see all these wild ass motherfucking gremlins, vultures, all kinds of shit, and said, "Fuck it, come on in."
The wild gremlin teenagers.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
That should be definitely documented in history.
I'm trying to explain.
Mario was the first one.
Nobody wanted us. Nobody. That's what I'm telling you. Hip hop wasn't going on yet.
And the gremlins from Bronx River.
Yeah, all of the gremlins
came out to be Zulu Kings.
Remember, Bronx River, rolling thick.
Gremlins from Bronxdale.
Right. Gremlins from Soundview, Chuck Freeze and them.
Soundview, Monroe, Castle Hill, Bronxdale, Rosedale, Academy, Lafayette, Cozy. I'm on the clothes, Bronx.
Burners.
Right.
And listen.
Exactly.
Yo, I gotta tell y'all this. The dancers. Y'all know who the dancers was back then?
Gangsta Boogie.
Dancers was gangster.
We used to hustle and all that shit off of that. And we was known for good dance. We was dancing.
They wasn't just
right.
guys from school
right.
and all. The dancers had the courage
right.
and the attitude
right.
to dance.
Right.
That's why I say you had to have
right.
attitude to dance.
So I wanted to correct myself just in case it came off wrong in the previous video, because you said Mario was the first one to let in the gremlins and the vultures, and that's true. And then I went to HERC. HERC did let people in with sneakers.
But he didn't let the vultures
in. So you saying HERC parties, Twilight Zone, the Hevalo, Executive Playhouse was not a lot of violence, not
it was
a lot
all about getting down. That's how come we were so popular. That's how come we got a chance to be so popular.
And that was our mantra. Everybody goes home safe. And that's what we did. We didn't have fights out. The shoes come out, everybody fight. Niggas was happy going up. Yo, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like that.
You know, and we all got along. There wasn't no, you know, you had a bunch of fights and stuff there. Nah, man.
There wasn't no fighting, no really fighting.
Not at that time. Not at that. And then you had no. And then HERC didn't allow gangs in there with colors and stuff. Nah.
Oh yeah, he didn't allow that.
He didn't let the vultures
in. Right.
That's why I said I get that part. Right. I said I'll rebuke myself. He let because
you don't have to rebuke yourself.
Right,
don't rebuke yourself.
Listen,
you was
I
right.
Left. Now I don't know if he after I left he let the vultures and shit in.
Who?
HERC and them, but he did. Because on that side. Right,
I just let you listen to Sasa. Sasa talk.
And Sasa told you.
Right. I like what you said. You said people claiming that they was the first. We may have been the first, but you would never know Because of the violence.
Because of the violence.
Yeah.
I ain't going over there, man. I ain't going over there. So the
Yeah.
more people that would have been over there, the more exposure you would have got. Because people's just coming from all over. But you got a bad reputation.
Right.
HERC didn't have a bad reputation. So that's the difference. Even if they do claim they was the first. This is the reason why you wasn't the first, because ain't nobody want to go over there.
But they first is first, regardless of what. But yeah, I hear what you're saying though. I hear what you're saying.
But the
first
reason
is
nobody
first.
know about
Even if it was violent, or if it was crime or violence, first is first.
Southside told you.
Right.
We wasn't coming over there because them dudes was sticking us up and everything.
Right.
We was. Listen, man, it was crazy.
And the KOOL HERC parties, they didn't really have
They
that
didn't
element.
have all that going on.
Yeah.
Listen, KOOL HERC and them parties, you know when they started having that go on?
When
we came back. See,
or maybe on Webster, right?
Nah, listen.
He was with the Spades on Webster.
Listen, I was there, yo.
Okay.
Just like in a KOOL HERC party, you had stick-up kids. You had about 3 well-known guys. They'll stick up 30 people in the party and don't leave.
Listen to me very careful.
When he came back, he had the element?
When I came back from jail, remember I told you I was 15, I went to jail at 13, I came back at 15. It seemed like I did a million years. I was young. When you young and you do a year or two, that shit is like doing, an older person could do a year or two, and it seemed like 100 years. Just imagine you at 13 doing 2 years. When I came back, my team was worse than they ever was, man. Because all of us went to jail. So when we came back, it was like, you see what I'm saying? It's like we was branded. You know, back then to go to jail was like an honor.
It was like,
It was like, if you survived it, you came on, your name was ringing bells and all that. That shit was like an honor. So remember, we still teenagers, young teenagers.
But what you mean by HERC though? What they got to do with KOOL HERC though?
We used to go over there. That's what I told you. Remember I told you in that video? Flash, I probably was one of the dudes y'all wouldn't let in your party.
Okay.
Yeah, he know why.
Okay.
Stick-up kids was there.
Okay.
We was there, so. Remember, if you listen to South, he said it was HERC parties, but at the end,
we went over there and we had fun. And we had fun at the end. Some cats try to stick us up, chasing us to stick us up, and we like, yo, man, damn. And it was a HERC joint, but they waited till it ended.
At the end of the parties, they'll come out.
Yeah. They try to get you at the end.
We'd get at you.
Yeah.
We wouldn't do it because HERC security was.
Shoot, he always used to come and try to get down with us because he was scared somebody was gonna rip off his equipment. So he had to get with somebody that had power.
Well, is security part of hip-hop? They have to be. The people who standing out here partying watching, they hip-hop. They witnessed what was going on. They was making it all what it's all about. Everybody had their components.
Remember, Tiny and them used to.
Well, I think he was with Flat or the other Spades.
Any of them.
Or the other division of
holding down
Spades.
Webster.
Right, exactly.
They was holding down Webster.
Exactly.
The Spades.
The 9 crew.
We bonded with all the crews. The Zulus, Casanova 9 crew, Gestapo. Those are all the brothers that we ran with. Cooley High. Those are all the crews we were all under the umbrella of all Casanovas.
The 9 crew, the Casanovas, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Them with Spades.
Right.
Ex-Spades.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So they the ones who what? Securing who?
Right.
Okay, we know them. We're not gonna do nothing on their shift.
Okay.
That's my boy. That's my brother.